अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सब? ठीक ठाक हैं? हाउ इज एवरीवन गाइस? हाँ जी, ये नोट्स हैं जी। दिस इज फर्स्ट चैप्टर। ये इन्वेस्टमेंट अप्रेजल है। आप बताएं इस पे क्या मसला आ रहा है एन्युटी फैक्टर की? ओके, लुक एट द स्क्रीन। हाउ टू सॉल्व एन्युटी फैक्टर? फॉर एग्जांपल, कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल इज 10% and number of years are 5. Okay, how to solve the annuity factor? Okay, it's very simple. 1 minus 1.10, okay, raised to power minus 5 divided by 0.1, 3.79. Another way, 1 minus 1 plus 10% raised to power minus 5 bracket close divided by 10%, 3.79. तो आपके ऊपर है, it's up to you that which formula you want to use. Let me do it again. Bracket start, 1 minus 1.10 raised to power minus 5 bracket close. Why I am putting the bracket? Because दो फिगर है ना, बीच में माइनस का साइन आ रहा है, इस वजह से न्यूमरेटर में जब भी दो फिगर होंगी यू हैव टू पुट द ब्रैकेट, डिवाइड बाय 0.1. और सेकंड इज 1 माइनस, फिर से ब्रैकेट स्टार्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज नाउ यू हैव टू लिंक विद द सेल. 1 प्लस 10% raised to power minus 5 bracket close. Now you have the complete numerator, divide by 0.1. Okay, you got it? सही है? Okay, now the second question. Working capital change. So there will be two scenario in exam. Scenario number 1, working capital will be recovered in last year. Okay, working capital will be recovered in last year. That will be the first scenario. Okay, let me take the example. Years, 5 साल है. I'm assuming there are 5 years. First step, always calculate working capital change. Working capital requirements. Working capital requirement. So I'm assuming the very simple example. Working capital requirement in years 0 is 5,000. You need working capital in year 1, 6,000. You need working capital in year 2, 8,000. You need working capital 7,000 in year 3. You need working capital 8,000 in year 4. And in last year, there will be no working capital because we need working capital 1 year in advance. हमें एक साल पहले working capital चाहिए होता है. Okay. So then calculate working capital change. Always take the year 0 working capital as a negative figure. Then take the difference between year 0 and year 1. दोनों का difference ले लें. Then take the difference between year 1 and year 2. Year 0 में कितना था? You have spent 5,000 in year 0. You you will be having a total working capital of 6,000 in year 1. So how much additional you have spent? 1,000. So what you will do, take the difference between 5,000 minus 6,000, 1,000. Now copy this into the next cells. Copy into all next cell. Copy. This you will change. This change you will take to the performer. Okay. Second example. Maybe examiner will say that working capital is a percentage of sales. First step, calculate the sales. For example, sale is 100,000. Sale is 120,000. Sale is 130,000. Sale is 150,000. Sale is 180,000. For example. So now calculate working capital requirement. For example, examiner is saying that working capital requirement is 10% of sales. First of all, calculate working capital of every year from year 1 to year 5. Okay. Working capital is from year 1 to year 5. Now read the question. Question पढ़ा आपने. उस पे लिखा था कि you have to take 10% of working capital in 1 year advance. Or you have to take 10% working capital at the start of each year. So what you will do? You will take 10% of this. You will take 10% of the working capital in advance. So copy this and paste it into the next cells. Okay. Copy this and paste it into the next cell. This is working capital requirement. And then calculate the change. Then calculate the change. Change is simply take the negative figure and then year 0 minus year 1. Copy this into the next cells. And you will take this figure to this row to the performer. Okay. Okay. You got it? Okay. Now scenario number 2. Scenario 2. Working capital will not be recovered in last year. Okay. When this will happen? When examiners say that project will continue in the future. When examiner will say that project will continue for the going concern. When examiner will say that project will continue till perpetuity. When examiner will say that, okay, although we are making the cash flows for 4 years, but this project will go for the next year as well. This project will continue for the next year as well. That means there is no need to recover the working capital because project is in going concern stage. Okay, okay, you got it. What will happen in that case? First of all, you will calculate working capital requirement. First of all, you will write the years. For example, you are making up a forma of 5 years. So what you will do? You will calculate change in the last year as well. So examiner will state that how much working capital you need for the 5th year as well. For example, it is 10,000. So you will calculate working capital. This will be negative figure. This will be 5,000 minus 6,000. So every year it will be changed. In the last year, you will calculate working capital as a change. You will not recover working capital in the last year. Sir, when? When it is written that project will continue for the foreseeable future. When it is written that project will go till perpetuity. When it is written that project will continue for the future. Okay. Okay. I have a question relating to relevant costing. For example, in a scenario, it is written the head office cost is a portion over the project, and the project is loss making, and company decided to close this. In this case, the cost of head office is relevant to the decision or not. And one more, if the administration handled by the head office, kindly explain both cases. Both are irrelevant, to be honest. Head office cost will be irrelevant, चाहे वो प्रोजेक्ट लॉस ब्रेकिंग हो, प्रॉफिटेबल हो, whatever the project, head office cost will be irrelevant. Remember this. ठीक है? Or even if the administration of that project is handled by the head office, that cost will be irrelevant. क्यों? That is not incremental cost. That is committed cost. वो आपने देनी ही देनी है head office. Can some explain in average investment why we take scrap value, like how it can be our investment? Scrap value is not our investment. Scrap value is like आपने कभी ratios पढ़ी है? Have you ever covered ratios somewhere? Ratios में क्या होता है? Opening balance of the investment and closing balance of the investment. So it is like the opening balance of the investment, जो initial investment है, that is opening balance, and जो scrap value है, that is the closing balance of investment. So we have to take average of that. ठीक है? We have to take average of that. प्रोजेक्ट के स्टार्ट में आपने कोई बिल्डिंग, आपने कोई प्लांट खरीदा, लाइक आपने कोई गाड़ी खरीदी 100,000 की, बट एंड यू आर सेलिंग इट फॉर 40,000. So 40,000 is the ending value, 100,000 is the beginning value. So we will have to take the average of it. How to calculate NPV? So let's discuss how to calculate the NPV. First of all, in any question, you will take the round off figure. For example, 000 round off करना है, we will take the 000 round off. Then you will write years. Okay. First of all, you will write sales. Then you will write variable cost, incremental fixed cost. Okay. Then you will write operating profit or operating cash flows, tax savings on allowable depreciation, then working capital change, investment, scrap value, net cash flows. Okay. Okay. I am putting some random numbers: 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, and 19,000 and 26,000. Okay, variable cost is like 40% of sales. ठीक है? Okay. Incremental fixed cost is like 1,000 every year. Just assuming. Operating cash flow will be sales minus variable cost minus fixed cost. ठीक है? अब एक बात जो आपने यहाँ सीखनी है, this is not the proper way of showing calculation in exam. Always show the figures with a comma separator. विद अ कॉमा सेपरेटर। कैसे? एग्जाम में आपने एसीसी प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म पर जाना है, वो आपको कॉमा सेपरेटर का ऑप्शन देगा। हियर मैंने यहां से कर लिया एक्सेल पे, ठीक है। यू कैन राउंड इट ऑफ टू 2 decimal and all the figures should be comma separated. Okay. Okay, next is tax. For example, tax is 30%. For example, tax is 30%. So minus into 30%. Okay. Then tax saving on depreciation मैं assume कर रहा हूँ वैसे ही randomly, ठीक है. Like it will be 2000. I'm just assuming. Working capital change, for example, 1000. Then it is 200. Then it is minus 100, minus 150, minus 400, और लास्ट ईयर में रिकवर हो जाता है तो मैं ऐसी लिख रहा हूँ जी 1850, 1850. ओके, इन्वेस्टमेंट इज फॉर एग्जांपल 10,000 है और स्क्रैप वैल्यू लेट्स से 2000. सो ऑल दीज फिगर्स शुड बी कॉमा सेपरेटेड. ये याद रख लें, कॉमा सेपरेटेड के बगैर आपने फिगर शो ही नहीं करनी. रिमेंबर दिस. ओके, नाउ कैलकुलेट द नेट कैश फ्लोज. सम all cash flows till operating cash flows. ठीक है, it should be negative figure. Should be negative. सही है. ओके, okay, now let's say discount factor is 10%. Or simply write, you can also simply write 10%. Now there are two ways to discount it. One is 1 plus 10% raised to power minus this here. Okay. Okay. When you copy it, it will give you incorrect figure. These are all incorrect figure. So what to do? We have to fix this cell. So in order to fix this cell, you have to put the dollar sign before the row and the column sign. Now copy it into the next cells. These are correct. एक और तरीका भी है. Simply write 1.1, 1 plus r 1.1 raised to power linked with the year. ये भी ठीक है. This is also correct. Okay, आपकी मर्जी है which method you want to follow. Then calculate the present value. Multiply the net cash flows with the discount factor. And now calculate the sum of all these, that will be called the NPV. That is NPV. Okay. एक तरीका तो ये है. There is another way. Alternative way is present value. You can directly use the formula NPV bracket start rate. Select the rate 10%, comma, select all net cash flows from year 1 till last year. एनपीवी के फॉर्मूले में ना ईयर 0 नहीं आता. ये जो एक्सेल का फॉर्मूला है इसकी बात कर. So we have to separately include that year 0 cash. Look, the answer will be same. Okay. So instead of showing all this you can directly show this. Okay. And simply, in order to calculate the IRR, instead of solving with the two discount factor, simply write IRR, bracket start, select all values from year 0 to last. अच्छा, IRR में year 0 आता है. In IRR, you can include the year 0. Select all values. It will give you the IRR. Although it's a very high figure because NPV बहुत ज़्यादा आ रही है. It's a very high figure. Okay. But it's a correct one. आप इसी तरह एग्जाम में निकाल सकते हैं. ठीक है जी. ओके. Right. Now, so how to calculate the payback? Payback. Simple payback method. Okay. First of all, copy the years. Years भी copy कर लें. और ऊपर से ये राउंड ऑफ का साइन भी कॉपी कर लें. ठीक है. Now, copy the net cash flows from above. Net cash flows. It's a simple payback period, so copy the net cash flows. Okay. Now, net cash flows आगे. Now, what you will write? Cumulative cash flows. Cumulative cash flows. फर्स्ट ईयर में तो ये ऐसे ही आ जाएगा. सेकेंड ईयर में you need 11,000 but you recovered 5,300. So how much the cumulative cash flow? 5,700. Then copy it into the next cells. इसका मतलब सेकेंड ईयर में, इन सेकेंड ईयर इज द पॉजिटिव कैश फ्लो. दैट मींस ईयर 1 और ईयर 2 के बीच में आंसर आ गया था. योर आंसर विल बी ईयर 1 प्लस you need 5,700. You got 6,240 into 12. So that means answer is payback. Payback answer is 1 year and 11 months. Okay, that's how you will calculate the payback. Okay, sir, how to calculate the discounted payback? Discounted payback. First of all, link it with 000 round off. आप इससे भी लिंक कर सकते हैं क्योंकि ये आप नीचे तो ले ही आए हैं ना. Okay, now write the present values. Now here you need the present values. ये ऊपर present value निकाली हुई है by chance हमने. Okay. Second is, again I'm saying you have to show all these figures in a comma separated format. You need to show these figures in a comma separated format. Cumulative present value. ठीक है जी. पहला वैसे के वैसा आ जाएगा. Second year you need 11,000 but you got 4,818. Sorry, इसको कॉपी कर लें. So year 2, in year 3 you got the positive cash flow, so you need 1024.79. How much you get? 5597.30 into 12. So answer is 2 year and 2 months. Right? Discounted payback period answer. Okay? Okay. Right, guys? And the last is ARR, accounting rate of return. First of all, total profits. Total operating profit. प्रॉफिट तो दिए नहीं होते, आपको याद है ना? टोटल ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोस, सम ब्रैकेट स्टार्ट, you will go to the operating cash flows. Okay, right, 000 round off. Deduct the depreciation. So for example, depreciation is 10,000. हमने तो सारी फिगर्स अज्यूम की हुई है ना, 10,000. Total profit, average profit, divided by 5. Then we will take average investment. For example, it is 5,000. And then you will calculate AR. Okay? Convert it into percentage, comma separate. Okay, right? Obviously, I have shown here how to calculate NPV. Obviously, in exam, you will write question 1, for example, or question 31, part A, make highlight or write the name of the question. For example, question name is Sujal Enterprise. It looks slightly more presentable. You can also highlight the years, or you can also highlight the NPV, highlight the IRR. You can highlight means bold. Payback answer, heading of payback, bold. Because that's it. There is no need to fill the colors. ये जो कलर मैंने भरे हैं ना, आपके लिए भरे हैं. In exam there is no need to do that. Okay? ये सिर्फ मैंने आपके लिए भरे थे ताकि आपको नजर आ जाए. एग्जाम में कुछ नहीं करना आप. एग्जाम में दिस इज इनफ. Question number 31 part A, question number 31 part B, question number 31 part C. That is okay. देखो, what happened in practical work? Being the finance manager, we will be responsible for the wealth of shareholders. So what should be our duty? We have to increase the wealth of shareholders. We have to increase the wealth of shareholders. Okay, sir. How to increase the wealth of shareholder? ये अलग part है. What is shareholder wealth? So let's discuss what is shareholder wealth. Shareholder wealth has two parts. If you are the shareholder, your wealth will rise if you get the dividends or if you get the capital gain. How, sir? Last year, you bought the share for 100 rupee or $100. Next year, share price moved to $120. So there is a percentage increase. There is a change in the share price, that is 20 rupee. That is the capital gain. आपका एक फायदा ये है. Second benefit may be company announces the dividend, company pays the dividend, for example 10 rupees. So आपको total, in total you will earn 30 rupees on the investment of 100. So in terms of percentage, first return which you will get, you will earn 10 rupee on the investment of 100. That is called the dividend yield. That is called the dividend yield. Sir, I have received dividend on the initial value, on the initial investment, on the initial share price, opening share price. This is called dividend yield. Okay. Capital gain is, sir, I have invested 100. I got 120 at the end of the year. So this formula is capital gain in percentage. और इन दोनों का the total of these two is called the total return. Total return formula is closing market value minus opening market value plus dividend divided by the opening market value. This is total return. This is called the total return. ठीक है. और खाली डिविडेंड यील्ड क्या होती है? डिविडेंड डिवाइड बाय ओपनिंग मार्केट वैल्यू. खाली कैपिटल गेन क्या होता है? कैपिटल गेन, व्हाट इज कैपिटल गेन? क्लोजिंग मार्केट वैल्यू माइनस ओपनिंग डिवाइड बाय ओपनिंग. And the sum of these two is called the total return. So if you distribute the dividend to the shareholder, shareholder wealth will rise. If the share price is increasing, shareholder wealth will rise. अब now आपका क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए, sir, what is the link of investment appraisal with this? If you accept the positive NPV projects, if you accept the positive NPV projects, this news will be a positive news for the market. What will be the reaction of shareholder? Positive reaction, share price will rise. And when share price will rise, it will increase the wealth of shareholders. Sir, what about dividend? After a year, when earning will rise, company will distribute the dividend to the shareholder, shareholder wealth will increase. Okay, right? Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. See you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.